everybody? Welcome to another episode of the P3 podcast.
Yo.
And this is a very, very special, I'm lost for words right now, but it's a very special episode. We're back on the big comfy couch. The last time you saw us, we were on the dream wall, but now we're back and we even brought some friends. So Holden, go ahead and do the thing before we even get into this episode.
All right, this is the P3 podcast, the only podcast that is implementing pathways, giving perspectives so you can reach your purpose.
That's right. And this is Beej, joined by my co-host
HB.
And we are joined with, can y'all please do it? Just do it.
Oh, the Mochaaaaaa Messaaaage.
Yes. Oh my goodness. This is, I love it. I kid you not. Y'all been doing this literally 4 years and I love it every single time I hear it.
You said that.
4 seasons in. And so we brought them here today because, it's a new year and we've been having other guests on the show. And we told you all in the last time that they were featured on this episode that we wanted to bring them back because the conversation was just too good.
It was too far.
When I tell you, you all are really, really good at what it is that you do, like the empowerment behind it all. It's seriously phenomenal and outstanding.
Wow, we appreciate that a lot.
We appreciate y'all coming back home, man. It's been, you can see the growth, the transition, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But yeah, thank y'all so much for coming back home.
Thanks for having us.
For real.
Yeah.
So for those viewers who are new, can you introduce yourselves? We know you're the Mocha Message, but who is the Mocha Message?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Shawnee. And this is
I'm
Jackie.
Sorry, usually we do
our intro.
They kind of made us do our intro in the middle of setting us. Let's just do it.
Do it. Please do it. Oh my gosh. Start again.
Give them the full effect.
Right.
Action.
What's up, y'all? Welcome. I almost said welcome back. Welcome to the P3 podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Shawnee.
And we are the Mochaaaaaa Messaaaage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever get tired of that. I kid you not. I don't think I ever could.
It's smooth. I ain't gonna lie.
It really is. So we're clearly coming off the holidays and stuff like that. And Jackie and I spent them together for obvious reasons. But we want to know how were your holidays, Jackie? I know your part. I want to hear from Shawnee.
Okay.
Oh, my holiday was good. Went and visited family, so that's always nice. Spent a lot of time, because I wasn't really working, which is great. So I just spent a lot of time on the couch, playing my new Switch.
You got a Switch? You did not disclose this. You did not disclose this.
Over.
Right.
I got Mario Kart.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
No, we coming through.
Yes.
We coming through. It's over.
So yeah, my holiday was great. It was great.
Good.
What about you, Holden?
For me, it was good. I just chilled with the fam. Jackie them invited me over. We all had game night one night.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was a dangerous night. That was dangerous. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. It's been good vibes. Motivated, highly determined, and yeah, it's been a blessing. But how are y'all doing personally? Just in life and everything.
Oh,
I feel like we got right to the questions. All right.
How are you personally?
It's the simple ones.
I'm good. I'm good.
Right. It's the simple ones.
True,
right.
No. To be honest, leading out of the holiday into the first week of the new year, I felt disjointed, for lack of better terms, because what I usually do is I'll carve out time to kind of just sit down and reflect, think about the goals that I set out from the year before, think about what I want to hit on this year. And I didn't really make space or time for that. Mm-hmm. So coming off of the holiday into the new year, I was like, what am I doing? So last week was my first week back to work, in the office. I work remote, but it's still,
of course,
work.
The office is still the office. Right. That is mental capacity.
So I said, you know what? I really got to just carve out some time. So I want to say, was it last Wednesday or Thursday? One of the days I pulled out all of my journals, laid them out on the bed, just flipped through them, looked, and I was like, yo, I was really out here hitting
you sure were.
Goals and doing the things that I set out to do, not even realizing I was in the process of doing it. So that leading into the weekend and leading into this next week coming up, it definitely boosted me. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready for 2023. I know it started last week.
That's okay. I feel like it didn't really start until this Monday. When I get back to you in 2023, 2023, I meant Monday and on. Like,
Right.
Not
No.
last week.
Right.
Last week was a test trial.
It was a trial.
It was a test trial.
Facts. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So yeah, at first I was like, what am I doing? Like, I wasn't feeling it. Like, everybody was all excited and hyped about the new year. I was like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Can we just pause on 2023 right now until I can get it together? But once I made that space and that time to like reflect, to think about what I want to do this upcoming year, I was like, all right, I'm good.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. What about you, Sonny?
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good. I think me and Jackie are liking that. Like, we kind of thrive on that organization.
Yes.
So I did make time for that, which I think helped kind of bring me into the new year. And again, just having that time where I really wasn't doing anything, like, felt so good. I felt refreshed, so like I could come back, work on content, work on, physical things, emotional things, all of that. So I feel really, really good, and I feel refreshed. So,
Nice.
Yes. Holden, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
So you ask all these questions.
I
Usually it's the
know.
person. Listen, here's the thing that I learned
Insightful.
psychologically about the kind of questions that people ask. It's usually the person that asks the question that's the one that needs to answer it the most. That's what I've learned in my life experience so far. So Holden, what's up with you, bro?
Man, everything's good, man. Everything's good. 2022 taught me a lot. I saw a lot of things. Had a lot of ups and downs.
Mhm.
But I learned a lot, and I actually accomplished a lot. And it's kind of put me on my path to do big things in 2023. Like, I see it now. I see the big goals coming, and I'm just getting ready for them.
Yeah,
That's all.
I'm with that.
We love that.
What about
Yes.
you, Beej?
Oh yeah, I do have to answer, huh?
Mm.
Right, that's the mic going down.
Right.
So 2022, the holiday season was actually kind of weird for me. I think like every year, the big thing that I always look forward to was spending time around someone's family. Like, and when I say someone's family, I mean like my family, because we did spend the holidays with the Harrises, which was an amazing time. But I mean, like in terms of like seeing my family that I haven't seen in like years, or not years per se, but like it feels like years. Like we actively decided not to do that.
Yeah.
And it felt a little weird in the moment because it's like, it's something that I'm just used to, when you're used to doing something, it's like the one thing you can look forward to doing is that one thing, and it didn't happen. And so I'm trying to figure out, well, what do I do now? Like, is this the holiday still? Like, does this even count? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And it was a transitioning moment, I guess, for me, a learning moment for me, in that things aren't always going to go the way that you intentionally see them as playing out. And it's something that I had to come to grips with because I'm a big fan of routine. I love routine, even if it's like the holiday season. And I don't like to do anything during the holiday season, like 0 things, which I guess I did end up doing. But at the same time, it's like I want to do nothing with someone, if that makes sense. Someone that's like family I haven't seen in a long time.
Oh,
I'm looking at. I'm saying. I'm looking at you in particular.
Hey, that's gonna be a screenshot for the page. Jackie's face, me looking at you like this.
I know. Like, what is he saying right now? But no, it's hard trying to like.
Trying to give you the eyes open.
Right. I can't see you because this is in the way. I couldn't see it.
Like, where are we
But
going?
no, it's hard trying to like put it into words for context, but it's more so like a feeling, or I guess lack thereof. Like it's something that I don't have, and I don't know how to fill it. And that was what I was having the hardest time trying to come to grips with, is trying to figure out how to fill it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like, we're used to traveling either to see his side of the family or my side of the family for the holidays and stuff like that.
Right.
So this year we were like, we're just gonna, kick it at home, figure out our own traditions and things like that. But yeah, so I can see how it was like kind of weird for you to be like, I'm away, because we're used to like hectic.
Yeah, like
kids running everywhere.
Running and traveling. It's like
Mm-hmm.
out of the 5 days we have off, 3 of them are spent traveling.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't do any of that this year. So it's just like, what do I do with this time? What extra,
Yeah.
but it's just like extra time for what?
Right.
Though?
Hey, we got an episode coming for that.
We do.
We got an episode coming for that.
Oh.
So tell the people that hasn't seen the Mocha message. Explain to them what is the Mocha message, and how was it brought about, and what do y'all like? What's y'all purpose of going through with the Mocha
Okay. I love how we intersect in this purpose.
Yes.
Message.
Come on.
Yeah.
So the Mocha message was started back in 2019.
Wow. January
Woo.
9th.
January 9th.
And it's ironic. Today's date.
That'd be dope.
Yeah,
Right.
no, for sure. So it was
J9.
started about 4 years ago. And our purpose is really just to connect with women of color, specifically Black women. It's who we really relate to. But just on a deeper level, something deeper than the 50-50 podcast and, should your mom get in the front seat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Should your
my goodness.
daughter do this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's actually talk about some of the things that,
Mean something?
Yeah, that mean something
Yeah.
that we all really either struggle with or have experienced. So we talk about everything from like feeling really down about your job and to being super stressed, or I'm trying to think. It's so many topics that we really hit on.
Image.
We've done
image.
Even current events. We talked about the January 6th riot back when
Oof,
that
that's
happened.
something that
You know what I mean?
that's something me and
all
Holden did
that
not
stuff
touch.
that-
That's a hot button topic right
So
there.
all
We
of
did
that
not talk
like,
about that.
affects us in some way, like in the culture, like to go to work, in the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement at its height,
Mhm.
where we were getting killed on TV day in and day out. Like you have to
Yeah.
still operate,
You gotta show up.
stuff like that. So we talk about all types of things that are very, very relatable. And I don't want to speak for, I guess us. I'll let the audience decide, but I think that we do it in a way that's really palatable. It doesn't feel like we're like preachy or anything like that. It's literally like you can, grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or whatever, you sit down and having a chat.
Yes,
Yeah.
grab some water and
You
let's
ate that
talk
summary.
about
You
it.
ate that summary.
Yeah, I'm over here like, what's Jackie gonna say? I was waiting for Jackie's input.
I mean, it's just about like spreading light, like inspiration, good vibes, like love. Like that's just who we are. Yeah,
Right? Like,
Definitely.
we need a lot more of that.
yeah.
Because we talk about that all the time. Is like all these podcasts that are supposed to be representing people of color, whether it's like an all women podcast or all men podcast or whatever. It's like you're talking about all the downsides of like the community for people of color. And it's like there's so much more to that. There's like a whole other side to it, like a brighter side. But you feel like because it's not going to give you any clicks or any views, or like it's not going to be something that's going to be like on people's lips as they talk or anything like that. Like it's not going to be something worth pursuing. And it's like there is though, because we need it.
Yeah. No, I agree. But back to don't think you're wiggling out of, not knowing how to relax. Like so that's what I was getting at. We had an episode. We just did an episode on like the importance of releasing and relaxing, and then our next upcoming episode will be about like, well, why are we hardwired to not relax?
Always be on the go,
Work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I will say that I will be tuning in because that's definitely one of my personal challenges of this year. With the topic is transition, of course, transitioning into a space of relaxation, but relaxation with purpose. Because like I guess the philosophical term is yin and yang. Like one can't exist without the other. Light and dark, good and bad, like all that stuff. It's like always being on the go versus always resting. Like both of those sides are bad. But when you mix them together and you have an appropriate balance, then it makes the most sense for a wholesome being. And so I've always been focused on going, and always like the active part of being purpose driven, like seeking after something, constantly moving. And it's like there are times where I have to like sit still, or I have to be still. And it's like, I have forgotten how to do that. Before I used to be a pro. I used to be such a pro to the point that I forgot how to be on the go. But it's like, I worked so hard to get to the point of me being able to just constantly like go off a dime, like just to move. And then having a conversation with Jackie, she's like, you don't relax. Even when you say you're relaxing, like you don't relax. Like my rest days from the gym.
Holding up the mirror. Okay.
Right.
Like my rest days from the gym, it's like, how are you still closing your rings and going like there should be a day where you don't close your rings. And it's like, I'm currently on day like 420 of closing all of my rings. And the goal for me was just to close all of them for an entire year. I don't know how I was going to do it, but it's just like, I did it, but now it's like, I don't stop, and I can't stop, and I don't know how. As weird as that sounds, because it does sound kind of weird.
I mean, the fitness tip is good. I think I applaud you for sure for being able to work in fitness every single day, regardless, not compromising. But outside of the fitness, sorry, just a little peek into the personal life here. His mind just be rolling with ideas. Oh, this for the podcast, this for the script, or this for the set, or this for the students at work. And I'm like,
she said, can you just be here?
Yes. Schedule or all of these ideas and plans, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. She gets me out of here every single time, and I have to take it on the chin.
I mean, like I said, it's like holding up a mirror, because I'm the same way. I'm very like task oriented.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to slow down and be like, all right, we need to figure out some ways to relax and to rest, because you're not going to be productive or be able to keep going otherwise.
I think that just come from like being both of y'all. Well, I think everybody on this couch just have like ambitious. Everybody had ambitions to have big goals and everything. But as you get closer to your goals, you also gotta have those days where you like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything today. I'm just gonna sit home and just sit there and just chill.
Yeah.
You gotta be, but you gotta force ourselves to do that, so you can still be, so you don't get deterred like from your goals, because people get like it's work, and they get burnt out and they're like, ugh, I don't want to do anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like, I don't think there's anything worse than getting burned out from your passion.
Fact.
Like, consistent pursuit of your passion without appropriate breaks leads to like ultimate disdain and discomfort. And it just makes you feel purposeless altogether, because it's like, well, this is the thing that's supposed to give me life, and I'm constantly doing it. So why is it not doing what it's supposed to be doing? It's not giving what it's supposed to give, as the phrase is said. I don't say it, but that's how it's supposed to go. And it's like, because you're constantly focusing on it, like you're supposed to do it in doses just as much as the other things that you don't want to do in doses. It's not supposed to be your constant. You're supposed to have that balance between the two.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but for me, and I struggle with that a lot. Like literally during the holiday, like that whole month of December, my passion was down, or like my drive to do my passion was down. I'm just
Facts.
like, oh, what is going on? And I think for me, when I kind of really like looked at within myself, is that I don't feel sometimes, and it's not good, but I don't feel like I deserve to rest.
Yeah,
like,
that's real.
The point where I really want to be.
It's like, do I deserve this? Did I earn it?
No, rest is not to be earned.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I could keep doing this.
Exactly.
There's always something you can do with like content creation or ideas, stuff that, Jackie was saying that Beej kind of goes through daily. And it's like, bro, like, you can't have that mindset of like, oh, I have to work. And then when I reach this one point, cool, I can kind of like take my foot off the brake.
So
like,
tell me
that's
this,
not how that works.
are you looking, so it sounds like, are you looking, so you got the big goal, right? But are you accomplishing the small, like, are you acknowledging the small ones?
I'm not acknowledging them.
Because that's I do the same thing. I do the same thing. But you gotta acknowledge the small ones, because then you feel like you're not as far away if you acknowledge the small ones.
Right.
Just looking at the big ones, you're like, I'm so far away.
No, that's absolute fact. That's absolute facts.
So, yeah.
And like when I look back at 2022, I'm like, dang, I really did do
Yes.
a lot of stuff.
Yes. Like a lot of
really
stuff
had
did
in my
happen.
head to, accomplish. But yeah, it's hard because I do kind of just look past that and be like, well, this is this really big goal I want to have, and it's not here yet. So
that's what my family and my mom and Beej and all them, they was like, how you feel about graduating with your master's? It's like,
it's all right.
I mean, it's okay. That's legit. Does anyone ever like take the time to like actually think back on an accomplishment as monumentous as that? Is like, a master's is a big deal. Like, even though in the workplace, they're like, we have doctorates preferred and things like that. It's like, but I have a master's. Like, that's like our parents, our family. It's like, that's not a common thing.
That's very true.
But it's the comparison of it all too. Like, even when we say I'm my biggest competition, I'm comparing myself to who I want to be like 5 years from now or something like that. It's like, there's reverse comparison too, where you're comparing yourself to who it is that you used to be, that I feel like we either do too much or don't do enough of, where I feel like me personally, I get caught up in the past comparison of myself, where it's like, well, I used to be able to do this and I'm not doing this now. And so if I could do this back then, I should be able to do this and more now, but I'm not. So what's wrong with me? Am I broken?
Felt that.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And so I know I personally get caught up in that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's why, like, it's so important to pause and reflect. That's why, like, at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I felt just, I don't know, like, what am I doing? What did I do? Yeah. But when I took that opportunity to, like, flip back and I saw Jackie, you know, at the top of January 2022, like, I wrote down a list of things that I wanted to do, things I wanted to accomplish. And I was doing all of these things throughout the year. And I was like, wow, I was, like, literally hitting things that I intentionally set out and said that I wanted to do.
Right.
But if you just keep going through the motions, like, you never pause to really see, like, how much you really have accomplished and how far you really have come.
Yeah. And I always wonder too if that adds to kind of that fatigue with your passion because you don't get a chance to, like, celebrate it. And so, like, it's not as fun as it could be. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it is nothing but work. And even though it's something, it's maybe in a field or something that you really are passionate about, it's like, well, you just work. You never celebrate. You never take a step back and be like, all right, it's my day off or whatever. Like, it is going to get exhausting. And 100%. Nobody can really, like, power through that long term. So
right, because now you're talking about the effects of, like, hustle culture and the negativity of it all. It's really, like, harmful if you think about it, because it's like you're not supposed to have days off. You're not. So there's going to be some days where you don't get to sleep. There's going to be some days you don't get to eat.
Be waking up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, bro.
5 videos ready by the time you go to regular job.
Okay. I'm like, you know, my work day starts at 8. Like, I'm up at 5, and you want me to have 7 videos uploaded and scheduled with proper reels, all of it. You want me to have all that ready by 7:30 so I could be at work at 8 o'clock. And then when I get off work at 5 o'clock, I don't even get a lunch break because during a lunch break, that's when I'm supposed to be posting the first 3 videos.
Okay.
And then after that, it's so overwhelming because it's like, first of all, who came up with that mentality?
Capitalism.
And second, who hurt you? I really want to know.
Supremacy.
Who hurt? Wow.
That's how we get down.
Wow. All right. It's officially the Mocha Message Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
That's real.
No, that's real though.
There's something that a friend of mine told me over the holiday break, and it's, you know how, like, someone says something to you and it's like one of those things that stick with you forever. Like, you'll always remember it no matter what. And she was like, we are human beings, not human doings. Like,
yes, that is something that's in my head. Yes.
We're always told to do, like, we're always doing something, whether it's for, because she is also pursuing a different path outside of her 9 to 5 as well. And she was like, you know, we're trying to fit in the 9 to 5. We're trying to fit in the other things that we're trying to do outside of the 9 to 5. But you really just, she was like, you have to take that time, like, to relax, to refresh, to rejuvenate.
Yeah.
She was like, we are human beings, not human doings. Like, this world will have you thinking, this culture, like American culture, hustle culture, all that will have you think that you are a human doing. Like, no, you're a human being. Like, there are times, you know, where we just need to be. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. That's why I have that phrase that comes up in my mind. It's like, it's kind of like my own personal mantra, and it's probably common by now at this point, but it's something that I've definitely been living with me for as long as I can remember. It's purpose over potential. You can reach your purpose without ever having to reach your potential. Going biblical for just a little bit. But the first person, come on, mother. The first one that comes to mind, the first person that comes to mind is Jesus. The man lived 33 years. Fulfilled his purpose in 3. The man had the potential to change the entire world by healing sick people and by healing the blind and being able to feed more than 20,000 people and stuff like that. He had the potential to do so many great things, but his purpose was to be able to save us in the way that he did. But he did that before he was ever able to reach his potential. Greatest person, greatest man to ever live. And he reached his purpose before his potential. And then his last words to all of us, to his disciples, were, greater things than what I've done shall you do.
Teaching the whole
Is there
world
like
here.
a play mic? I ain't trying to do the real list, but for real, that was a good point.
We had a bomb up in there.
Yeah, I know, but it's
That was
like
good.
when you take the time to think about something like that, something that's as monumental as a man like him, he said that to his people, and he said that greater than what I've done, and all I did was. You saw me do some healings. Okay. You saw me feed like a couple thousand people off of a Long John Silver snack pack. You saw that, you were there. And I also died on the cross for saving everyone's sins. I did that, but you're going to do greater than this. And you can do greater than this. He's acknowledging that there is potential amongst everybody on the earth. And he is also acknowledging that you have the capability to be able to do more. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you will be able to reach your purpose. You have to actively choose to be in your purpose.
Man.
So purpose over potential. That means that there's no need for long sleepless nights where you're trying to figure out where your next meal's coming from and you're trying to skip it because you're so focused on the grind and the hustle. Because what's going to end up happening after you get it all and then you pass away? It doesn't go with you. It goes somewhere else.
Getting a little deep on here today.
Well,
P3.
Usually it's me over here. I see you.
I prayed prior to the start of the podcast because I wanted to make sure that the things that I said weren't, one, lost in translation, and two, they were actually purpose filled, because like a hair or something on my tongue. Sorry. It's terrible. But no, seriously though, I feel like oftentimes when we come into situations like this and we feel like we have to have something like deep or intellectual to say, that it kind of gets lost in translation because of the amount of effort that we try to put into saying something purposeful. And I wanted to make sure that it was, one, effective, and then two, it was the thing that needed to be said. Because I wasn't planning to say what I did say specifically. It's just, it happened that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like straight from the heart.
Yeah. I think we can all agree it was definitely purposeful.
Definitely.
Well, thank you.
So I know that we are kind of, both all our podcasts are like in the same kind of spot. We talk about transitioning today. So, all of us started off audio first and now we visual. So tell me, like, since y'all have started doing visual with YouTube and everything, what's been some of the things that you have learned and some of the setbacks and challenges so far?
I mean, we were strictly audio for a good 3 years.
Yeah.
And Shawnee was pushing.
As was I.
For us to go.
As was I.
Shawnee was pushing for us to go video. But to be honest, a lot of like my own personal insecurities was holding us back. Like, she's very numbers, driven person, like looking at the algorithms, looking at what gets clicks, views, what resonates with people, how they'll connect with the content. And I think for the longest time, like I allowed my own insecurities to hold me back, both in terms of like preparation, like equipment. I'm like, where were you supposed to be getting cameras from, microphones from, all that kind of stuff.
Look at us
but
now.
Also my own like personal insecurities with being on camera. And over the process, like, I think I've learned by being vulnerable and being in front of the camera, it's helped me transition into being more confident. And it's kind of healing some of that in a sense, which is really weird to think about, right? But just like showing up and seeing like, you are your beautiful self in front of the camera. There's no like attack on the way that I look or the way that I'm speaking or how I'm showing up or anything like that. So that's been like personally, like aside from Mocha Message, just Jackie alone as part of Mocha Message. That's been one of my biggest transitions from audio to video for sure.
Okay. What about you?
I love that. That's just, I'm sorry. I love
I'm like, that was her answer. That was her answer. Right.
I love that. That's a real good testament to like, sometimes you just got to step into the fire and like, you realize it's not even hot. Like, it's not even going to hurt you. I say for my transition to video, kind of some of the same. Like, I Y'all know this from the first probably couple episodes. I do not like my voice. I feel super squeaky and like nasally. So even being on video, I think that was also kind of like, oh, well, I don't know. Like I'm barely used to people hearing me, you know, but on top of that, definitely just some of the, you know, things that come with that. Like now we have, instead of audio clips to put on Instagram to like kind of show our episodes, now I gotta do video editing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
shout out to the video editors in the room. Shout out to all of them.
all of that.
Yeah,
Like,
shout out to all of them. Listen,
that's a really big thing.
that's a transition in and of itself.
I'm a trainee in process.
Don't worry, Holden, we gonna get you caught up.
In my freshman year.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I don't know. I feel like you're like in between like freshman and sophomore year though.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. It's like summer session freshman year one.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she's doing it.
What about y'all? Like, what do you feel like you've learned, or you know, some of the challenges that you've come up against? Or
challenge wise, I feel like one of mine for the podcast was this might sound a little like corny or cheesy or whatever, but I think staying on topic, as weird as that sounds. When we first started the podcast, I feel like personally, and it's come up in conversation that I've had with people who've listened to some of the episodes, aside from like the usual like editing mistakes and things like that. It was the subject matter and us staying on topic for what it is that we were supposed to be talking about. Like we would start off saying, we're going to be talking today about purpose. And then we ended up talking about like action movies or something. And our listeners just like, wait, how did we get here? Right. It's like, I needed some encouragement for my purpose. And we over here talking about what the latest action movie was. Like, how did we get here? It's like, I'm sorry. It was supposed to tie in. It's like learning how to speak again, I guess, or learning how to talk again. Because like I can have a conversation like this in passing where it's just like either through text message or on the phone, or we happen to be in the same place at the same time. It's like, you remember that one time where and you go into this good, meaningful conversation because there's no purpose behind it. There's no agenda. There's no time limit either. Like there's none of that stuff. And it's just like 100% organic. And learning how to be able to transfer those skills into a space like this, where it's literally made for it, but there's other factors that you have to consider for it as well.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned between when the podcast started and now for me.
I think for me, you know, just not being tech savvy when it comes to things like the cameras, audio stuff. I just got decent with audio. We did audio the whole season, so I started getting decent where I could like edit, like put the theme stuff in, theme music in and everything. But now it's like totally different world. And then just seeing like, I guess you see like the bigger podcasts on the internet and everything, and you're like, I want to be that. But you got to understand, it's so much more than just what you see on camera. They have a team. They have the editing, so all they got, all those people just got to show up and just do what they do.
Yes, like they have a team.
But they don't have to do all the backhand work of it too, like editing, or
setting up the set,
or even like the promoting of the episode.
Yes, like they have a marketing team
working the whole time. Like,
oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Shout out to all the people that are starting podcasts that don't realize what all goes into it, but they stick with it anyway. Like shout out to all of you, and that are right, and that are consistent, because there's a lot more work behind the creative genius of the work that happens here in this space. Like it's so much more than what it is that you see and what it is that you hear. Like the background work, the people that are working behind the scenes, all that stuff. So shout out to your consistency. You're needed.
Yep.
You have a future.
We're on the way.
Oh, we're on the way. What do you mean? We're already here.
Yeah, all of us.
Exactly.
We're already here.
Exactly.
What do you mean? There's a question that I wanted to address. And I just want to see if anybody's answers have changed.
Oh, Lord.
No, it's a simple question. You shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't be scared. No, you're good. On the last episode that you all were on, we addressed a question. And I wanted, you should have reviewed. There's going to be a test. You all should know this by now. It's me. But no, there was a question that was asked. I just want to see if anything changed between now and then, since we're talking about how we felt about when our podcast started and where we are now.
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
Oh.
I am a chef, a podcaster, and a CPA.
Yes. Period. What about you? You're not exempt.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm a higher education consultant.
Mm-hmm.
I am a podcaster, and I am a music reviewer and music journalist.
Guys, she has embraced it. And I was waiting an entire year.
Listen, you gotta speak
push her
it.
out.
She swallowed that lump. She swallowed that lump, and now she has accepted it. Listen, she's a poet. She's a poet with music. She really is the expression of it all.
Yeah.
Holden.
Yeah, my answer gonna be a little bit different now because I'm doing different things.
There we go. Elevation.
Still aspiring medicine. I am a marketing consultant now, so I do something totally different than what I went to school for, and I like it a lot. I'm a trader still, and just a visionary.
I was waiting for somebody to say it. Okay, the many pathways that can take place that can stem from the area of creativity. Visionary is one of the words that I feel like, like from podcasting to music journalism to even being a chef. It's like a creator of your own making. And so in order for you to do that, you were the first of your kind, the first and only, which means that nobody has ever done it before, which means that you need to be able to have a vision for yourself and what it is that you see for your brand and what it is that you want to do, whatever the creative pathway that you choose to take. Yeah. And so with that being said, what I do for a living is I create opportunities for other people.
I like that. That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
That is as all encompassing with all the talents really that I have that I can get with like not having to be too word of mouth. It's like I provide opportunities for people.
Okay. From
higher education to film to podcasting. I provide people an opportunity for purpose seeking, for purpose knowing, for pathway developing, for perspective changing. I provide opportunity for all of that.
Alliteration, boy. I got chill.
It is what it is, but
you might gotta revamp the LinkedIn and be like, I am a. Tag that in there, plug that in there.
And the reason why I revisit this question again is because the thing that we have discussed from the last episode that I feel like we all have been like applying and living in now in this moment is when you're asked the question, what do you do for a living? It translates to what do you do that gives you life? Mm-hmm. And so, of course, being a higher ed professional, it sustains your physical one. Yes, that's true.
It keeps a roof over your head.
It keeps a roof over your head so that you can move it, so that you can do the thing that you want to do. But then you also have your creative ventures. And it also goes to show you the importance of the fact that you're not all just one thing. Mm-hmm. And you can't be all just one thing. Like you can't be all passion. You can't be all structure. Sometimes one can't exist without the other. Actually, in all things, one can't exist without the other. So you have to have the thing that you don't necessarily care too much to do as it relates to what it is that you really want to do, because too much of one good thing can actually ruin everything else that you work so hard to get and to maintain. So yes, you have the professional side of you. I'm sorry. You have that side of you that wants to do like the professional, for lack of a better choice of words, corporate side, capitalism and all that stuff. But then you also have the side that not like corporate capitalism, but I just mean like I'm saying right. That goes back to saying like you're in it, but you're not of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like you just exist there, and you're participating because that's the only way that you're able to live, so that you can do the other things. Yeah. But then you also have the thing that kind of takes your mind off of it, so it doesn't make it feel as bad. So you can't have one without the other. Because then if you do the part that you really do like the most, and that's all that you do, then it starts to lose its luster and you don't appreciate it as much because you work so hard to get to where you are now.
So, I did have one more question for y'all talking about transition and everything. So when you talk about transitions, how everything's been going with podcasts over the last 3 years, with y'all going from audio to visual, think about I think about what comes to mind is growth. So like
Sure.
growth, which one do you think has it been more personal growth, or has it correlated with the podcast growth, or is it kind of like, is it exponentially, or has it been like slow and steady? How's growth, and what does growth really mean to you?
Man, I'm proud of us. I'm like, if we only get 2 subscribers, we want more. But if we only get 2 subscribers, like, I am proud of us. From the very first time that we set everything up, it took us a good, 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, literally.
To set
Like,
up and record a half-hour episode?
Listen.
Now we be got everything all set up.
I don't even need to do nothing no more.
Like, I'll be, editing the visuals and stuff. Like, we've really found our rhythm. I think that both of us overcame, or are in the process, if not yet, overcoming just being like camera shy. You know what I mean? Like, but like I said, if we do want more. But if we never had another subscriber, like, I would be proud of just the work that we put in, like the intention that we put behind our episode topics, our set, being able to, like, our chemistry is so good, like riffing in off of each other. I think our personal relationship as friends has grown stronger since the pod, and even since, like, us doing the video. Like, it's been a beautiful process. For me, a lot of the growth is more personal, like within the brand of who we are as Mochaaaaaa Message, than like followers and numbers and like all that kind of stuff. You know, I think based off of the work that we're putting in and the work that we're doing, that will come.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
that'll come organically or naturally. But yeah, what do you say?
I agree 100%. Like, when you mentioned growth, I never thought like, oh, how many followers do we have back when we first started? You know what I mean? I literally thought about how, and you mentioned, like, was it kind of a one-to-one relationship with like our personal growth? I feel like we both have personally grown so much, and because we're so authentic with the content that we put out, Mochaaaaaa Message had no choice but like to elevate right along with us, because we don't go into it with like this goal of like just kind of superficial things, like how can we hack the algorithm or go viral. Like, we really are so like intentional, and like we do this because we believe in the content that we put out and the subjects that we talk about, you know. And so I think that as we continue to grow personally, because that definitely is not going to stop, that Mochaaaaaa Message is definitely going to go to new heights that they never seen before.
So one more question for y'all. I just thought about something really good.
Yeah.
So we talk about the purpose, we talk about the perspective of the pathway. So young Black women that's watching these episodes, what advice would you give them? What advice would you give them to tell them to start a podcast, or to be a chef, or to be a journalist, be whatever they want to be? How would you tell them to get to that?
Look in that camera right there and tell them.
My big thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. There are people out here who are doing what you're doing, who have been doing what you're doing for years. And a lot of times we can find like resistance when it comes to asking for help, but ask anyway. Like, there are so many people who are out here willing, like freely willing to assist and to see you elevate and to see you grow. It's just a matter of asking. I like to say a motto, like, you don't get what you don't ask for. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. So why not?
Yeah.
I always say, just start.
Yeah.
Which we
That
also
too.
had to grow past that. Like, even earlier in the episode, Jackie mentioned how one of the big barriers to video was like, well, what do we do with equipment and stuff like that? And when we look back on it, that's such a silly question, because number one, her husband is right here, like the king of all things, like media. And then we both have like so many friends and like people who we know who, you know, like a simple question. Like, I feel like we had our camera picked out and the mic picked out like within days. You know what I mean? Like, really, it was just like trying to reach out, like she said, but we had to start. And so I think my advice is always just going to be start. And I'm not going to say like, don't just like cross the street and not look side to side.
Count your costs.
Yes,
count the
definitely make
cost.
sure that you're doing a little bit of research and things like that, but don't feel like you have to have, if we bring it back to a podcast standpoint, don't think that you have to have the team that, these huge podcasts that you follow or like the equipment or stuff like that, the space, you can do it anywhere. And like the people that you look up to have started from much humbler beginnings. Shout out Issa Rae. That's what I thought of.
Quinta too.
Right. Shout out
Quinta.
to,
That's a real one.
Who,
Yeah.
they started out with like, now that you look back on it, you're like, man, that camera sucks. Like, but the content was
But
good.
good content is good content.
Authentic and it's good and it comes from something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Everything else is gonna grow. So just start.
Actual factual.
That's dope.
That's good.
You got the game ready?
Oh yeah, for sure. So go to a new note.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to play If You Really Knew Me.
All right.
I have 5 questions for each of you.
All right. Should we number them 1 to 5?
Yes. And Jackie, you're answering for Shawnee. Shawnee, you're answering for Jackie.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Don't hide them.
Number one.
Peeking.
number 1,
Turn it on.
Shawnee. What is Jackie's favorite alcoholic beverage?
I said a sweet drink with not a strong alcoholic taste.
And Jackie, what was your answer?
I said a Moscow Mule, which, I mean, if it's in those parameters.
Okay, we'll give you the point for that one. Jackie, what is Shawnee's favorite movie?
I took a wild guess and said School Days.
No, I will accept Lion King or Crooklyn.
Wow.
The wrong Spike movie.
Right. Definitely in the spiky realm.
Shawnee, how many kids does Jackie want?
I said 1 and 2 because they're a little expensive, so we ain't trying to be out here.
Jay, what'd you say?
All right, so I went with the want answer instead of realism, but I chose 3.
She said 1 and 2, not 1 to 2. 1 and 2 equals 3. 1 and 2 equals 3. Jackie, what is the last concert that Shawnee went to?
K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar.
No, it's actually Chris Brown.
She was.
And then Chris Brown was right before it turned fall.
I saw her typing. I saw her typing. I'm like, wait, didn't she go to another concert?
I know this.
I seriously thought she was going to another concert.
Dang.
Shawnee, what does Jackie love most about herself?
Okay, this was hard, but I said it was her heart and that, her heart pretty much attracts like her tribe.
Wow. Period.
Yeah.
I said being a bridge builder and connector between people.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. Ding, that's another point for Sean.
Right.
It might be a sweep.
Right. Or Jackie, what is Shawnee's pet peeve? Biggest pet peeve?
Oh, biggest? I just chose A, but I said stuff being on top of her countertop because that's what she likes to cook.
Yes.
Is there
If
true?
anybody is watching this specifically to stays with me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Get
no.
that mail off the countertop, bro.
Not the mail. Not the mail.
Trying to cook.
Oh no.
That was a good one. That's a point.
That's a point. Okay. All right, we're
Like
going
the chef
to
needs her things to be clear.
Yes, bro.
clear and clean. Shawnee, what is Jackie's perfect game for game night?
Yeah, I didn't know this one. I just said taboo.
Yeah.
That was it. I'm like, Jackie is so simple when it comes to the games for game night. She's like, what y'all bringing? I got taboo. What y'all bringing? What y'all bringing? We got like, what do you mean? We got Uno. We got all these other games. She's like, taboo. Let's go taboo.
Like, that's a really good
Right,
one.
we got Quelf. We got the other one where you stick the things in your mouth and you got to say phrases. Like all these other games. That's true. COVID is a thing now.
Right,
Well, no, this is before COVID, of course. This is before COVID. Right. Plus, that game was a little sketchy anyway. I felt like I was spitting on people. Shawnee or Jackie, what is Shawnee's Starbucks order?
I mean, I just randomly said a mocha. I mean, it's on brand. It's on brand.
On brand.
You know what?
On
I like
brand.
that
You can't change your answer. No, you can't change your answer.
What is it for real? What is it for real?
My Starbucks drinks a chai tea latte.
Why did I almost write that?
I love chai tea.
I gotta go with my gut.
Right. See?
It's almost like you know each other. So. Shawnee, which Disney character is Jackie?
Okay. This one I said,
If she says Ariel, I'm leaving.
No.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, this one down the water.
This one I said, and I can't think of her name right now. I know Beej is gonna be mad. But Black Panther's baby mom.
Nakia?
Yes, because she's intelligent. Like she gets stuff done.
She does.
Very like
she does.
Around like everybody likes her. So I was like, that's you.
She does.
I love that.
Yes. Do you accept this?
I mean, I chose Princess Tiana.
That was my second one.
Black Disney.
I also identify.
But I went like
Princess
Disney.
Tiana.
Yeah, definitely Tiana.
Yes. Yes, she is. She is a whole Tiana. She is a whole Tiana.
That was my second one.
Minus the frog. She is a whole Tiana.
Yeah, no frog.
All right. Jackie, for the winner. What word does Shawnee say way too often? It could be word or phrase. What does she say way too often?
Say that when she was giving her
period.
answer. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I actually had one in my head myself when I was asking this question. Mine was on me.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to grow away from that.
That's the equivalent.
But you're right.
Yes, I was saying.
You're right.
You saying on me is the equivalent to Jackie being like, "Yo, that's wild."
Yeah.
That wasn't my question. I'm like,
Yes.
right, wild.
Yes. It's like wild.
So
that was good. I'm gonna have to tally these up in post because I can't remember what everybody said.
That was cute.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, there's gonna be like notches and things. You know how I do in post.
Oh, we want to see this handshake.
Yeah, we want to see the Mocha Maven handshake.
I mean, if it's a secret handshake,
it's not a secret. It's a Mocha Maven handshake.
That's a secret. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm overriding the rules. Thank you very much.
We're gonna blur it out.
Okay, we're gonna blur out the handshake. There you go. We're gonna blur out the handshake. All you're gonna hear is.
That's all.
That's all you're gonna hear. That's all you're gonna hear. We'll put it in the audio version. There you go. We're gonna cut out this video part. We're just gonna put it all audio. You hear snaps, claps,
exactly.
all that
I
stuff.
like that for next season.
Yes, y'all should. That should be in y'all's title sequence.
Yeah,
that's gonna be y'all title sequence for the next season.
Okay,
I see y'all doing at least like 10 seasons.
I mean,
at least minimum. I want y'all to get to 100 episodes. I want y'all to get to 100 episodes.
Oh, we can.
Oh yeah, that's definitely cool.
Yeah.
But we seriously want to sincerely thank you guys for coming down and hanging out with us and talking.
It's always good vibes.
Shedding some love and light. So just for the new people who are watching, and even some of the old people who kind of forgot, older as in like you've been here, but you're just we're not ageist. Ageism is not a thing. Where can we find you, both collectively and individually?
Okay, dope. So again, my name is Jackie. You can find me on mostly Instagram at faithful_J.
And then I'm Shawnee. You can find me on Instagram at sunkissedpd_Shawnee. Collectively, of course, we are the Mocha Message Podcast. I think it's Mocha Message Pod on Instagram. But you know what? We're one and the same. So when you pull it up, you'll see us.
Ain't
okay.
Mocha Message Pod out there.
Yes.
So.
It ain't another one out there. All right. And then you can also find all of, look at me.
Come on, shameless plug. Do it.
You can also find all of Jackie's writings under her link tree.
Yeah,
Make sure we talk about that.
You better be selfless in these streets out here.
And you can see all of my recipes and cookbooks and et cetera at Coin Cuisine.
Oh wait, because that's right. Yo, wait a second. I was about to say, wait a second. Because wait, listen, on the P3 podcast, we celebrate, okay?
Yes,
we celebrate when other people deserve to be celebrated. We celebrate with other people. Shawnee got featured in the magazine.
Yes, she did.
I don't want that to go unnoticed. Okay, listen, Jackie and I.
That's milestone shoes.
Yes.
I'm trying to slide by.
She trying to slide by that thing like we ain't see it. No.
Jackie was like, hold up.
Right. She just casually put that on her story. I'm like, wait a second. Hold up. We not just gonna scoot past that like this just didn't happen.
Exactly.
Okay? No. In the words of Kevin Hart, Yeah, and best believe we went and got ourselves a copy, and we gonna save it.
Appreciate
We probably gonna put it in a scrapbook somewhere.
Laminated.
Yeah, laminated, and we gonna ask her to sign it, and then we gonna sell it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't be working late.
That's right. Yeah, paying for my mortgage with her signature. Yeah, we get down like that. No, but we are seriously proud of you, Shawnee, and your
Thank you
accomplishments
so
with Coin
much.
Cuisine.
Thank
Y'all make sure to follow Coin Cuisine.
Only the beginning.
Only the beginning, literally.
Yeah.
Holden, where can we find you at, bro?
Man, y'all can find me on Instagram at Baisden H1. That's BAISDN, the letter H and the number 1. What about you, Beej?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram at BEEJ_LY because Beej loves you. And also you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/BeejLeClipsTV. That is BEEJLYCLIPSTV. That is my personal YouTube channel where you can find all my other content and all the other cool things that I do. You can find us on Instagram at P3_podcast. That is P3_podcast. And if you want to do some collaboration, if you have some input, you've had comments about the show, you want to work with us behind the scenes, teamwork or anything like that, send us an email at p3podcast1@gmail.com. Again, that is p3podcast1@gmail.com. We seriously look forward to having you and working with you.
And yeah, we also want to make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe for our channel on YouTube. Make sure you like this video, share it, blow it up. And you can also go watch all our previous episodes on YouTube as well as all our audio podcasts on
all major streaming platforms.
Yep.
Because this is the P3 Podcast.
Only podcast that's ever been pathways, giving perspectives so you can reach your purpose.
And we are out. Bye.